and welcome to Mrs Patnell's Maths Lesson 2 of this week. Now, we started looking at money yesterday and the different value of coins. We looked at £1 and we looked at £2 coins, and we looked at the difference between the two. So they were both the same colours, two colours in fact, gold around the outside, silver in the middle. But when we placed them next to each other or on top of each other, we noticed that one was smaller than the other in size. Which one was the smallest one? It was the pound coin, and the bigger one that's worth the bigger amount, that's worth the most, was the £2 coin. There was another difference between the two when we picked them up and felt them. So the £2 coin felt like a perfect circle, whereas the £1 coin had lots, and you had to really feel it, you can't always see it just by looking, had lots of little straight edges to it, okay? So it wasn't a perfect smooth circle. So that was another difference between the two. And obviously a £1 coin is only worth £1 and a £2 coin is worth twice as much, double the amount, £2. Who can remember how many 1 pennies make up £1? How many 1 penny pieces make up £1? It was one for every square on the 100 square, so it was 100 pennies. Okay, so today we're going to carry on with that. We're going to look at coins, as promised, that are worth less than the pounds. Okay, so we're looking at coins that are worth something pence today. So they're worth less than £1 or £2. So if you have these ones in your purse, you're not as rich, okay, as if you had the pound ones. They're worth a little less, okay, but they're equally important, and we can use them in everyday money. When we go to the shops and buy things, we would use these coins, so they're just as important. It's just as important to know what they look like and to recognise what they're worth, and to see what they actually look like, to be able to describe them, okay? So we are going to start today's lesson though with number of the day. So if you have your sheets, you can fill this in now and stop the video, or you can do it after this video lesson. But you have a choice of numbers that you can fill in your number of the day today. It can either be 5 or 15, okay? 5 or 15, so 5 or 15 underneath it. So that's your choice of number of the day, and pop it onto tapestry if you're in my class, or show it to an adult if you're not in my class. We are going to count back in ones from 20 today, so we don't forget how to count backwards, because it helps with our subtraction, our taking away. So here is number 20 here. We're going to count back in ones until we get to 1, and what would normally be here would be 0, but it's not on our 100 square, there isn't room for it. But we'll say 0, it's an important number, and then we can say blast off as well, okay? So, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, or blast off. Okay, now we're going to sing the months of the year, because we tackled these lessons last week when we were dealing with time, and we don't want to forget all the names of those months of the year when we move on to coins this week, so it's important to go back and revisit it. Hopefully you can see all of those months on the camera there. I wrote them in a circle, just like I did with the days of the week, because when you finish the 12 months that are in a year, you would just repeat them and start them off again in the next year. So it's a constant ongoing circle of months. But don't forget that 12 months do make up one whole year. So we're going to sing this song. We're going to start with January and work our way round to December. Okay? January, February, March and April, May, June, July and August, September, October, November, December. These are the months of the year. Sing that through a couple of times today and for the rest of the week, and you will hopefully start getting those months of the year, those 12 months, in perfect order. Okay, so now I want to talk about what coins there are. Okay, so when we're talking about coins that are worth penny amounts, they're talking pence. I want to have a little chat about what coins there are that make up the pence ones. There isn't a coin for every single number, you see. So, for instance, let's write on my board here. I'm going to rub out my start sign from my chicken races the other day. So, for instance, there is a 1p, and I wrote it cursively because we do in my class. There is a 1p coin, okay? 1p, and p stands for penny or pence, okay? There's a 1 pence coin, a 1 penny coin. There is a 2p for pence or penny coin, but there isn't a 3 penny coin. It doesn't exist. There isn't a coin worth 3 pennies in one coin. There isn't one for 4 pennies. There is one for 5 pennies. Okay, so there's one coin that's worth the same as 5 1 pennies. Okay, there isn't a 6, 7, 8 or 9 penny coin. You can't say, here, I'm going to pay you for my 9 penny sweet with a 9 penny coin, because one doesn't exist. You have to use other coins that add up to make 9 pennies. Okay, so no 6, 7, 8 or 9, but there is a 10 penny coin, 10 pence. Okay. There is also, and I'm going to flip my board round for this, let's give it a little rub. There is also a 20 pence coin, okay, so there are no teen number coins. There's no 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 or 19 pence coin. The next coin that pops up is the 20 pence coin, the 20 penny coin. And then it takes another massive jump. It goes all the way to the 50 pence coin, the 50p coin, okay? And there aren't any 21s or 22 pence coins, so it takes big jumps as the numbers, the amount of the coins get bigger. Massive jumps in between, okay? There'd be far too many coins if there was one coin that was worth the same amount as every number on the board, on the 100 board. It would get crazy. We would never remember them all. So it's important to not have too many, and then we just use different amounts of these coins added together to pay for different amounts of things that we want to buy in the shops, okay? So there should be a 1 penny, 2 penny, 5 penny, 10 penny, 20 pennies, and 50 pence coin, okay? And that's what we're dealing with today. We're not going up into the pound coins like we did yesterday. We're just talking the penny coins, the pence coins. Now, in my box of sand in front of me, I don't know if you can see it, I'm going to tilt it a bit there for you. It's my box of sand. And I'm going to come up, stand up here and talk close to the camera. So this is my big box of sand. It is full of sand and it's also full of coins, okay? I'm going to bring the camera back a little bit so you can see it a bit better. If I tilt it like this, and then we're going to come out a bit as well. Whoop. And that's in. Let's go out a bit so you can still see me and you can see the sand here. Right, okay. So I've got my trowel here because I'm going to do some digging, and I've also got this very clever gadget here. I don't know who made it myself here, but this is going to be my imaginary, so I'm using a bit of imagination for this, my metal detector. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen a metal detector before. Sometimes people take them out on the beach and things, and they move it around on the beach, on the sand, and if it makes a special bleep, 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 bleep noise, that normally means they've found something under the sand that could be made of metal or something, and it could be something very precious, maybe a piece of jewellery, maybe some money, and then they sort of dig down and they see what's under the sand, okay? So we're going to have a go with my metal detector today. Okay, and we're going to see what coins we can find in the sand. Now, when we find them, we'll check them off of this list. So we'll tick them all so we can see which ones we found. And we're also going to discuss what they look like, okay, and what they are worth, all right? So that's what we are looking for in our sand today. So I'm going to set my metal detector off into the sand, and I'm going to move it around the sand like this, and then it's going to start bleeping. I'm going to stop and have a little dig and see what I've found. So here I am moving it around the sand, and blip, 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 blip. Oh, it kind of likes this spot here. So I'm going to take my trowel, and I'm going to have a little dig around here. Let's put my metal detector down for a second. I'm digging around in the sand, and, oh, dust off the sand here. Oh, buried treasure. I have got, oh, Now, this coin, when I take the sand off, I'm going to hold it up here, so you might be able to zoom in with the camera, and I'm doing it when we edit it. But it is, as you can see, a kind of brown colour. Some people call it brown, some people call it copper. You might often hear people refer to it as a copper coin. Okay, it's quite a large coin. Okay, it's almost probably about the same size as the £2 coin from the other day. It's quite a big coin. So it's large, it's copper or brown in colour, and if I run my finger around it, it is a perfect circle. No straight edges on that one, okay? And that copper coin, that large copper coin that's a circle shape, has, and I can see written down here to help me as well at the very bottom, a number 2. So that is worth 2 pennies, 2 pence, or 2p. So I'm going to tick that off on my board here. We found a 2p. My pen's not working very well, but there it is, ticked. Okay, let's try again with my metal detector. Let's bring it up. Let's move it around, and I'm going to... Oh, blip, 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 blip. Very, very, very going off the hook, shall we say, over here. It's going crazy. I'm going to put that down. I'm going to dig in the spot it was going crazy. And I have found another coin. Let's dust it off from the sand. Oh, this one is quite small. Would you like to see it compared to the 2p? There's the 2p. There's this one in front of it. Much smaller, this new one I've found. You can also see the colours are quite different. Where this one was a brown copper colour, this one is a silver colour. Yes, it is. So it's a small coin. Very, very small, actually. Very small coin. It's silver in colour, and it is a perfect circle again. Okay. So this tiny silver coin that's a perfect circle is worth, now the number's not written on this one, but it's written in words on the back, but you won't be able to see it, but it says 5 pence. So this small little circular silver coin is worth 5 1 pennies, okay, 5 pence coin. Let's tick that off on our list here. Tick there to our 5p. Right, let's go again. Alright, let's bring my metal detector around, and let's go here. Oh yes, I'm very lucky here today. Let's dig deep. Look at this, every time. Ah, okay. It's another copper coin. Look at that. Show you it's the same as the 2p. Look at that, same colour, copper or brown coin. But you can also see it's much, I think you can, I'm seeing as they're the same colour, it's quite tricky, but this one is much smaller than the 2 pence coin, okay? It is, and I run my finger around, knocking off the sand here, it is a perfect smooth circle, okay? So it's another circular coin, it's copper, but it's much smaller than the 2p, so it's a small circular coin, okay? Now this one, has it got the number written on it? Yes, it has on the back to help me out. You can't see it very well on the camera, but it has a number 1. So this is a 1 penny coin, a small brown circular coin. Okay, so I'm going to pop that back here, and I'm going to tick off the 1 penny one here. I'm going to ask you a question at this point, if you can see my little tick off board here. We found a 1 penny, a 5 penny, and a 2 penny coin. Which coin is the largest value so far? Out of the ones we've found, which one has the largest value, is worth the most? They're all just 1 coin, but they're worth different amounts, as we've discussed. So which one, 1, 2 or 5p coin, is worth the most? It was the 5p coin so far, because 5 is bigger than 2 or 1, isn't it? It's further along the 100 square. So 5p is our biggest value coin so far. This is important to say value, okay? It's not our biggest coin, because we saw when we compared it with the 2p, it's much smaller in size. But we're talking about value. What's it worth when you pay for something at the shops? This one's worth 5 1 pennies, but the much bigger in size copper 2p is only worth 2 pennies. Okay, so the 5p is worth the most in value, even though it's tiny. Okay. Right, let's try with our metal detector again. And I'm feeling something here. Beep, 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 beep. Oh, I'm very lucky today. Honestly, really I am. And I'm using my shovel and I have dug out, aha, this looks different. It is another silver coin. Let's compare it to our 5p, our 2 silver coins. If I place that on in front, you can see, hopefully, if the camera zooms in, that my 5p is a little bit smaller than this new coin I've found because it's bigger around the edges, it's poking out. Okay? So this coin is bigger in size than my 5p. It's the same colour, same silver colour. But if I run my finger around the edge of this coin, and maybe you've got one there in front of you, maybe, if you've been prepared to this lesson and you brought some penny coins with you, some coins that are worth pence rather than pounds, I can feel this isn't a smooth circle. It has several straight lines making the shape here, okay? And I can count those actually. They're kind of smooth on the corners, so it's hard to see them like a rigid straight line, but there's sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sides. They're kind of hard to see because they're smooth, they haven't got pointy edges, but that's my 7-sided shape, okay? So this silver coin that's hexagonal shaped, okay, it has 7 sides and is slightly bigger than the 5p. That is worth 20 pence. That is worth big money, okay? So the 5p was only worth 5. The 20p is worth all this many more pennies up to the number 20. It's quite a valuable coin, actually, the 20 pence coin. So let's tick that off on our board here. Where is my pen? It appears to have vanished. Here it is, it's on the back. Okay, so we found the 20 pence coin. Let's give it a tick. It's worth more than the 5p. This is now the coin that's worth the most in value out of all the ones we've found so far, the 20 pence. Okay, what ones do we still have to find? Let's have a look. We've put ticks by the 1p, the 2p, the 5p, and if I flip the board, we've got a tick by the 20p. Oh, but we're missing, no tick here, recognise this number before the p? 50p coin. And on this side, we've got no tick here, we're missing the 10 pence coin, the 10 penny coin. Okay, well, let's see if we can find it in here. So I'm moving this round and oh, beep, 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 beep. What have I got here? Dig away my sand. Oh, it's a silver coin again, another silver coin. Let's compare it to the 5 pence, because they're both silver, you can see the same colour. But look how teeny tiny the 5 pence we already found is compared to the new coin we've found. So this is a big coin, a big circular coin. You can feel it's a circle. When I run my hand around it, there's no straight sides to it at all. So it's a big silver circular, means it's circle in shape, coin. Okay. Now this one, if I turn it over, does it tell me? It only tells me in words and not in numbers, but it's 3 easy sounds I can blend in capital letters. T, e, n, t, e, n, t, n. 10 pence coin. So this big circular silver coin is a 10 pence coin. It is worth 10 pennies. Okay? It's worth twice as much, double the 5 penny coin, because 5 and another 5 makes 10 together. Okay, so this big circular coin is worth twice as much, double the 5 penny coin. Okay, so which coin have we found so far that's worth the least amount? Okay, it's the smallest value coin. So not smallest in size, okay, but smallest in value, what it's worth if you used it to pay in a shop. We found a 5p. Oh, we must tick the 10p now. We found the 10p. So let's give that a tick. Found the 10p. So we found a 5p, a 10p, a 2p, a 1p, and on the other side of the board, a 20p. Okay, so which one have we found that's worth the smallest value, the least amount of pennies? So that would be our 1 penny coin. Let me just remind you what that looks like again. It was the small copper-coloured circular coin, the 1 penny coin. So that's the one that's worth the smallest amount, the least value coin. Okay, so I'm going to use this. I think I've probably just got one more to find. So let's put the metal detector to work. And beep, 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 beep. Oh yes, it's going bad over here. What have I got? Use my trowel to find it. Here it is. It's another silver coin. Could it be a 5p? Could it be a 10p or a 20p? No, I don't think so, because it looks a bit different. Let's compare it to our 5p. It is silver. Okay, so that's something that's the same with this coin and the 5p. But look, the 5p yet again is tiny compared to this bigger new coin we've found. Okay, so it's quite a big silver coin. Now let's look at the shape. If I run my finger around it, and if you have one of these there in front of you and an adult's pointed it out to you, so you've got the same one as me, run your finger around it, okay, and does it feel like a smooth circle? Not really. Every now and then I hit a kind of, not a point exactly, but certainly makes it suggest that there are sides to this. They are quite smooth sides, but there are sides to this coin. Let's count the sides on it. I'm going to put my finger on the one I start with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It also has 7 sides, just like a 20p. But we can see the difference between these two when I place the 20 pence on top of the 50. Which one's the biggest one? That 50p is poking out from the back quite a bit. It's much bigger than the smaller 20p. Now it's also bigger in value, okay, because it's worth 50 pence, okay. That's 1 penny for every square on the 100 square, all the way up to 50. So if I laid a 1 penny on every number of the 100 square, all the way up to 50, that would be worth the same amount as one of these coins, because this is worth 50 pennies. Okay, so quite a good coin to have. The biggest value coin in the pence selection. Okay, so not the pounds because they're worth more, but in the pence, the 50 pence. Or yes, you're quite rich if you've got one of those. That's quite exciting. Okay, so I am going to move my sand off of the table here and pop it out of the way. And I'm going to pop these coins that we found in order on the table. So I'll bring them all over here, put them in front of us. So my smallest value coin is actually one of the smaller coins. Not that that always means something, because size doesn't always mean it's worth less. On this occasion, a small one is the smallest value. It's my small copper coin, and that's just worth 1 penny. Okay, so that's the least value coin, so I'm going to put it here. The next coin, to go as we're moving up in value, so this one's worth more than the 1 penny, okay, is the 2 penny coin. It's still copper coloured, but much bigger. Still circular, but bigger than the 1 penny. The next coin is, do you know which one comes next? I've got a 10p, 20p, 50p, and a 5p left. Which one comes next? If I'm starting from the one worth the least in value and I'm working my way up to eventually the one that's worth the most, which one comes next? It's worth more than 2p. It is our small silver circular 5 penny coin. So that comes next there in the line. Then we've got 3 coins left here. I've got a 10p, a 20p and a 50p. Now they're all silver, so it gets tricky, okay? But I'm going to look for one that is circular, okay? So after the small circular 5p comes the next circular coin, and that's my 10p. So that comes next. Then the penny coins that are worth the most seem to be the ones that have the 7 sides. So I've got a 20p and a 50p left. Which one is worth the least? What number is the smallest out of 20 and 50? What has the smallest value out of those two? It would be the 20p coin. It's actually smaller in size as well. So that comes next after the 10. And then my big old 50p coin is worth the most in pennies. So that comes in. Okay, and that's all our coins that we found. All our pence coins, starting from the smallest value, working its way up to the biggest value. Okay. So, it was good to see you again today. It was good to chat about what the coins look like. Maybe you could stop this video now, and if you've got these coins in front of you, you can be looking at them and telling your adults in your room something about the coin. You could say, I know this is a 2p coin because it is circular, it's a circle shape, it's copper in colour, and it's quite a big circle. Okay, so have a little chat with your adults now. Talk to them about the coins that you hopefully have in front of you. If not, dash off and get some coins and sit back down and have a little chat with your adults about the coins there, okay? So think about size, shape, colour, and talk about that. That will help you start to recognise those coins and know how to pay for things in shops. Before we go, if I wanted to buy something that was worth 7p, 7 pence in a shop, could I use these coins to pay for something that's 7p exactly? So I'm not going to get any change back in return. I'm definitely going to pay enough money. How can I make 7p exactly using these coins?